Now at 9, 2 people hurt after a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway. It happened in the inbound ramp to Holman this afternoon. Gunfire broke out after a minor crash. We'll tell you what officials are saying about it all tonight.
And new concerns about the conditions migrants are facing at Chicago shelters. We heard from volunteers who said the city isn't allowing them to help, and they say some of the migrants are eating moldy food and are facing several health issues. The latest in a live report coming up.
And a new look at a deadly police-involved shooting in Des Plaines. Last month, officers shot and killed a man who they say threatened them with an axe. Investigators released new body camera footage of the incident tonight.
And if you've been outside, I bet you felt this. A big cool down this afternoon, but how long will it stick around? Tom Skilling is tracking warmer conditions going into Father's Day weekend and the potential for more rain showers. His full forecast just moments away.
Major step forward for Chicago's new casino. Today's state gaming leaders approved a temporary site for the Bally's Casino, and it could be open in just a matter of weeks. We've got all those details coming up.
And it's a major milestone for Chicago's iconic Willis Tower. It's celebrating its 50th birthday tonight. WGN's Mike Lowe takes a look back at the building's incredible history and its quarter century as the tallest building in the world. The WGN News at 9 starts right now.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
Good evening, I'm Ray Cortopassi.
And I'm Jewel Hillary in for Micah Mater.
And we begin with breaking news tonight. The Chicago Police Board voted this evening to fire a sergeant in connection with the botched raid at the home of Ann Jeanette Young. The board voted 5-3 to fire Sergeant Alex Walensky. Acting on flawed information in 2019, 13 CPD officers executed a no-knock warrant at Young's home searching for a man with an illegal gun. Instead, they confronted Young, who told them that they were in the wrong home. According to a lawsuit, Young said the officers made her stand naked for almost 20 minutes before she could cover up. COPA and then Superintendent David Brown recommended Walensky be fired, saying that he violated department rules. Now he can't appeal the ruling. Young later settled the lawsuit against the city for nearly $3 million.
Developing tonight, Illinois State Police are investigating a shooting incident that left 2 people hurt along the Eisenhower Expressway.
And WGN's Alyssa Donovan is at Mount Sinai Hospital tonight where the victims were taken. She has the very latest now. Alyssa?
That's right, Ray and Jewel. Those victims taken here to Mount Sinai Hospital. At this point, their conditions are unknown. Illinois State Police say the 2 were shot on a ramp on the Eisenhower Expressway earlier this afternoon. Around 2:45 p.m. Thursday, Illinois State Police responded to reports of a shooting on the Eisenhower Expressway. When police arrived to the Holman inbound ramp, they found a 2-car collision and several witnesses still on scene. According to police, 2 people were shot on the ramp. We spoke to the man of one of the vehicles involved in the crash, who happened to get caught in the middle of the shooting. He says his car was rear-ended on the ramp. Moments after the collision, another vehicle pulled up and someone in that car began shooting into the vehicle that hit him. That bystander was uninjured, ducking down in his driver's seat to avoid the gunfire. Police say one of the victims who was shot drove themselves to the hospital. The other victim was taken by ambulance. The Holman inbound ramp remained closed for about 3 hours as police conducted their investigation. According to Illinois State Police, there have been 52 shootings along Chicago area expressways since the beginning of the year. That includes 11 along the Eisenhower. And again, the condition of those victims unknown at this time. And of course, this shooting remains under investigation. Reporting live tonight at Mount Sinai, Alyssa Donovan, WGN News.
All right, thanks so much, Alyssa. New concerns tonight about the food, medical treatment, and other conditions for migrants who are staying in shelters.
And WGN's Andrea Medina is live in Rogers Park with more on what some volunteers are saying. Andrea?
Hi, Jewel and Ray. Volunteers we spoke with are drawing attention to the shelter behind me and other ones throughout the city, saying migrants are reaching out to let them know they're eating moldy food, having limited access to medicine, and showering with cold water. The Leon Beach Fieldhouse in Rogers Park is being used as a temporary shelter for migrants. Nearly 100 men are currently living here. Volunteers like Sorcia Urquiza and Chaplain Claudia Figueroa say city-run shelters like this one are not allowing them inside to help out.
Every time we get close, it's like step back. They closed that gate again today on us because, you know, we are here because they don't want us to see what is going on in there.
Especially when you're out there with the food, with what they need, and you're trying to help them, and they reject you. Like, they literally kick you out of there.
Since Urquiza and the 2 other volunteers weren't allowed in, they set up tables several feet from the shelter. The men were then able to grab food, clothing, and other necessities.
It's a really cold day here in Chicago, and ever since we started to come here, the migrants are not able to take any of the food that we give them inside. That is the case as well at Daly College, as I'm hearing, and at the Inn of Chicago.
Migrants who are staying at the Inn of Chicago have expressed to her that they're not getting enough to eat or they're being served moldy food and sent her this picture.
It's either the moldy ham with the bread or some pasta that you could tell. They're like, Miss Claudia, like, you could just tell that it's like old pasta.
Both Urquiza and Figueroa say the moldy food is only the beginning of issues concerning migrants.
They're also restricting them from water. When a medical team comes out to see these families at the shelters, it's restricted as far as like how many people they can see. 10 families, you know, at most. And then I also hear that they're not even given medications.
At the Chicago Inn, there's I don't know how many floors. They don't have hot water.
Figueroa says the experiences at some of the city shelters haven't been the best for migrants, and a handful tell her their stay at the police stations was slightly better.
It's because at the police station, us, people like you and I, or anybody in the community, could go there with trays of food, anything they need, and they're allowed to have it.
We have reached out to the city for comments, but we have not heard back. Both volunteers say they're constantly dropping by the shelters and the police stations to assist the migrants and are always in need of donations. If you'd like to help, we'll have that information on our website, WGNTV.com. We're live in Rogers Park. Andrea Medina, WGN News.
Thank you, Andrea. A federal jury finds a Chicago businessman guilty of bribing 2 state lawmakers.
WGN's Christine Flores has more on today's verdict.
Good evening. Weiss was found guilty on all counts, which are charges of bribery, mail fraud, wire fraud, and lying to the FBI. Now, the jury, which was made up of 7 women and 5 men, deliberated for about 5 hours. Now, this was a trial that went on for about 2 weeks. James Weiss and his team of attorneys opted not to make a comment as they were leaving the courtroom this afternoon following the guilty verdict. Weiss, who had pleaded not guilty, is accused of allegedly wanting the Illinois gambling expansion bill to include the legalization of sweepstakes machines to benefit his gaming company. The 44-year-old is also the son-in-law of Joseph Berrios, former assessor and chairman of the Cook County Democratic Party. These are gaming machines that accept cash and provide a voucher which can be redeemed for merchandise online. However, since the machines can be played for free, they are not considered slots as a regular gambling machine would. Also named in the indictment filed in October of 2020 is former state representative Luis Arroyo. He's accused of receiving bribes from Weiss in exchange for support of the gaming legislation. According to court documents, Arroyo failed to report those payments to state regulators. The indictment also alleges a pair conspired to pay $2,500 a month to State Senator Terry Link in 2019 for support of the proposed gaming legislation. Link testified that he was cooperating with the FBI in an undercover role in hopes of receiving a break in his own federal tax conviction. All of the recordings were played out in court and submitted as evidence. We spoke with a juror who deliberated on the case.
There were some pretty specious arguments. There was at one point something about the difference between coincidence and correlation, which I found to be a pretty grade school type argument. It's pretty clear just from the things that were provable by recordings and other evidence that Mr. Weiss was not going to get all of this.
It is important to note that in this bribery case, Arroyo was sentenced to 57 months in prison last May. He is scheduled to be released of June of 2026. Now, Weiss's sentencing has been scheduled for October 11th at 1:30. Reporting from the Federal Building, Christine Flores, WGN News.
All right, and we'll take a look at more headlines in just a moment. But first, the summer-like heat did not last long today. cool winds off the lake caused the mercury to plunge greatly.
It's going to climb back up, though, right? Tom Skilling is here now. with more.
Yeah. Guys, I'll tell you, one of those sharp backdoor cold fronts came through the area. We were on such a run here. We were up to 80 degrees at 11 o'clock. The front hit, the winds came around to the north, and we've been downhill since then. We're down now to 56 degrees. That's over a 20-degree drop as the winds blow between this high pressure from Canada and low pressure out to the east. And these are full-fetched winds. They have a lot of time over cold water, thus our chilly temperatures, which we're importing from up by Lake Superior. It's only 50 at Marquette tonight. 56 in Chicago. We have a strong north-northeast wind and temperatures as low as 51 at Deerfield at this hour. And you see the other cool temperatures around the area. Another big story, we have been moved into an area of severe drought for the first time. That's from the new drought monitor. We've had only 4.2 inches of rain, should have had 10 inches. That's 41% of normal, and we're not alone. We'll talk about prospects for any rain, but also look at the Father's Day weekend coming up, guys, and we'll be back with that in a few minutes.
Okay,
See
Tom,
you then.
See you shortly. Appreciate
You
it.
bet. You bet, Ray.
Well, tonight, new details following an officer-involved shooting in Des Plaines last month that left one man dead.
Police released body camera video and other materials leading up to the shooting, and some of the video may be disturbing for some viewers. WGN Shannon Halligan joins us with the latest. Hi, Shannon.
Yeah, Des Plaines police were called to help with someone who may have been suffering from a psychotic break. The investigation into the shooting is still ongoing, but because of policy, they're releasing this video and other material related to the encounter.
Des Plaines police released body camera video when officers responded to a mental health call last month. A woman who called 911 said 55-year-old Scott McDonald was possibly having a psychotic break.
We need probably medics and police because my son's friend's dad is having a psychotic break. He's destroyed everything in his house.
4 officers can be seen in the video approaching McDonald's condo unit in the 1400 block of East Thacker on May 24th.
Is he the only one inside?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the police are here. No, next door, all the way down.
McDonald walks out carrying an axe. Seconds later, he's shot multiple times.
Hey, stay right there. Put the axe down.
Officer Edwin Rios, who fired his gun, can be seen walking into a stairwell before McDonald walks into the hallway. McDonald later died from his injuries at the hospital. According to Des Plaines police, Officer Rios has been with the department since 2021. He's been placed on paid administrative leave.
Major Crimes Assistance Team, or MCAT, is conducting the investigation. Over the next several months, MCAT will submit their findings to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office for official review.
All right, Shannon, thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
Two Cook County jail inmates are facing additional charges after sheriff's deputies say they found drug-soaked paper on them. In separate searches in April, jail staff say that they found both 19-year-old Alexander Hansen and 22-year-old Keontae Bird in possession of paper soaked in synthetic cannabinoids. Hansen was in custody for armed robbery and unlawful use of a firearm, and Bird was being held for first-degree murder. On Tuesday, they were both indicted for drug possession. The charges are part of an effort to stop the trend of inmates using paper laced with drugs to get high. WGN Investigates has been covering this issue for several months now. And last week we had rare access to jail cells being searched for paper contraband. The team is now tasked with searching cells every week, going through books and beds to look for paper drugs.
Indiana Sheriff's deputies say they arrested the wrong man in connection with a fire at the Lake County Jail. Terrence Craig was arrested on Monday, just days after another man was taken into custody last week. Security video caught the moment the fire started back on June 5th. Investigators say Craig was one of 2 people of interest, and the first suspect had been identified by witnesses. But today they said new evidence led them to release the other suspect. They dropped charges against him as well. And one of Chicago's most famous buildings is celebrating its 50th anniversary. People gathered for a party today at the Willis Tower, originally known as the Sears Tower.
Of course. And WGN's Mike Lowe had a chance to go behind the scenes, and now he's got a look at the Chicago icon's importance.
Chicago above the clouds. This is perhaps the most breathtaking view in the entire city.
Where are we standing right now?
We are standing on the 90th floor, facing east at the Willis Tower.
It is where the skyscraper scrapes the sky.
And nothing brings you not just the view, but the interaction with the clouds and the city, the way the 90th floor roof will.
The Willis Tower is more than a building, if you ask Director of Operations and Construction, Barbara Hickey.
The Willis Tower is not just an icon for Chicago, but really for the United States, and globally it's recognized as such.
It is a symbol of Chicago, a marvel of modern architecture, and perhaps the most stunning expression of Daniel Burnham's lasting edict: make no little plans.
Any movie you watch that pans over a skyline, you see Willis Tower, and you know what city that is. It's the most Chicago thing you really can think of, a city that is resilient and beautiful, and to build this pinnacle, this beacon right here in the heart of Chicago, it's just such a point of pride.
This year, the monument forever reaching upwards has also reached a milestone of its own.
We are 50 years old. 50 years ago, the last beam was set on May 3rd, 1973.
Construction began in 1970.
It was incredible watching this building being built because you saw it getting higher and higher and higher.
2,000 workers spent more than 3 years building the behemoth. Back then, it was the Sears Tower, the corporate headquarters of the Chicago-based retail giant. In 1973, WGN's Robert Jordan was there as the first workers unpacked boxes at their new desks.
Last Friday, the first group of 400 employees packed their belongings in a box, as well as their files. Over the weekend, these boxes were moved to Sears Tower, placed on the individual's desk here, and the employees arrived this morning, hopefully with all their personal effects and their files in place.
It was newsworthy because it was the opening of the tallest building in the world, 110 stories, a distinction the tower would hold for a quarter century.
You feel like there's ownership in the building. We were the world's tallest building for 25 years. This is something that's not lost on a lot of us locals. We had something we can claim as our own.
Designed by the renowned architecture firm Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, the bold, straightforward right angles perfectly captured the city's personality.
I've seen this building described as muscular, and from some angles it almost looks like it has the broad shoulders of Chicago.
Yeah, the original design in 1973 was the city of broad shoulders. It was big, it was bold, it was massive. It's a place you get the vertigo shot from the down, looking up at it, and you're just in awe.
Randy Stancic is the general manager of the Willis Tower's main attraction, the Skydeck.
We are standing on top of Willis Tower, kind of. We are standing inside the Skydeck Museum.
He's the man who came up with the idea for the ledge, the glass boxes that allow visitors to seemingly step outside the building and look straight down 103 stories. He also designed this interactive Chicago museum that visitors move through on their way to the 103rd floor observation deck.
We're going through 9 different neighborhoods, showcase some of the best of the city while we're actually moving on a train, getting closer and closer and closer to Willis Tower.
Once in the observation deck, visitors are above the clouds.
It's a little bit like you're at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. You're lucky enough to get to the top.
On a clear day, the views stretch for more than 50 miles across 4 states. The building was once seen primarily as a workplace. Now it's a destination that includes the 20,000 square foot interactive experience, the Color Factory.
All right, good morning. Welcome to the Color Factory.
So tell us what happens here.
Yeah, Color Factory is an interactive art installation. We have 20,000 square feet of immersive experiences for you to enjoy color through all 5 of your senses. You're going to taste, smell, touch, dive, play, and enjoy color through every which way you can imagine.
In 2009, it was renamed the Willis Tower, though many Chicagoans still refer to it by its original name. Now, some 20,000 people pass through the building on a typical day.
We affectionately call Willis Tower a neighborhood. It feels like its own separate neighborhood.
In 2017, renovations began on the Catalog Edition. The name is a nod to the Sears mail order history. It's a $500 million 5-level entrance with restaurants, entertainment, and an outdoor terrace open to the public.
It's not the tower of the 1970s. It used to be kind of strictly a office building, and you come, you work, you clock out, you go home, you come, you go up to Skydeck and you leave. There are memories to be made here. There is something that fits every taste.
The iconic broadcast antennae are splashed with light to celebrate civic events, sports, and spread holiday cheer.
We're Chicago's cheerleader.
Hickey is the woman who keeps the whole operation running smoothly.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't get done in a day.
Her 35-person team is responsible for washing the 16,000 windows, maintaining the 110 elevators, ensuring the air and water flow, and overseeing the modernization of the building's mechanics.
This is a 9-tube bundled system.
50 years after its completion, the Willis Tower still gives weight to the Chicago skyline and gives shape to the city's soul.
Why is this building worth celebrating?
Willis Tower is a Chicago treasure. You look up anywhere in the city and the Chicagoland area and you see it and you instantly know where you are.
At the Willis Tower, Mike Lowe, WGN News.
Well, Chicago's very own landmark.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd always thought of, well, I'm going to call it the Sears Tower because that's what I know it as. But just as one of the tallest buildings in the world, I didn't know it had an interactive museum and that color factory. Lots of fun stuff to do there.
Lots to investigate now, right?
Absolutely. All right, well, the work week is ending on a cooler note, but a warm-up is on the way, thankfully. Tom Skilling tells us about that in his full forecast in less than 10 minutes.
And first, an Antioch woman has a story for the ages. Next, how she uncovered a bazooka round from World War II in her yard.
Wow. Also ahead, Illinois' gaming board weighs in on Bally's plans for a temporary casino in River North.
And a massive fire in Missouri. Firefighters try to tackle a 5-alarm fire at a sprawling warehouse. That's ahead in our next half hour.
The storm system coming in right now, as you see, it's colorful. Looks like maybe fire is coming our way. These triangles here, that means lightning, I think.
Forecasting the weather is harder than it looks.
How do you guys do this?
That's why experience matters.
Can I jump in? Yeah, I think you might do a better job.
To avoid the worst of the weather.
Kane County, this is your heads up. This is tracking east-northeast.
Another line of storms pushes across Chicagoland here later on this evening.
Trust the experts in the WGN Weather Center.
It's Empire Today's biggest sale, the 50-50-50 sale. 50% off carpet and flooring, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation. That's right, half off your entire project. You can save thousands. Empire's 50-50-50 sale won't last long. Don't miss 50% off carpet and flooring, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Ram season is here with the right trucks for every purpose, every path, and every soul. Now's the season to be a Ram.
Right now during Ram season, get 10% below MSRP or 2.9% financing for 72 months on the 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn.
So it's my first week here, and I'm walking down the hall with Tom Skilling. I can't believe, I work with this guy now. And I'm kind of nervous, and I said, well, what do you say to Tom Skilling, right? I'm like, hey, what a beautiful day. And he proceeds to agree with me and then give me the entire forecast as we're walking down the hall about the barometric pressure and about how we've got a blocking high, so it's actually gonna be nice the rest of the week. And he goes off into the bathroom, and I'm like, well, am I supposed to follow him? What's the protocol? And I was like, welcome to WGN.
WGN at 75 Stories, sponsored by McDonald's.
Receive up-to-the-minute weather and traffic updates. Download the WGN News app today. This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
What's believed to have been a World War II anti-tank rocket was unearthed in the backyard of a home in unincorporated Antioch today. A mother was in the backyard of her home with her young kids when she noticed something sticking out of the ground. So she dug it out and then called the Lake County Sheriff's Department, who in turn called the Waukegan Bomb Department.
I was just playing with my boys and I saw this weird metal thing sticking out of the ground. Grabbed my shovel and started digging it up and pulled it out of the ground with ease and took some photos of it and showed my neighbor, showed my dad, and my dad's like, hey, you should call the police and figure out what's going on with that.
Kind of a mystery here. The Waukegan Bomb Squad took it to an undisclosed destination and detonated it. While it was being removed, residents in that area were evacuated just as a precaution.
Bally's can start moving slot machines and tables into the Medina Temple in River North after new approval today from the Illinois Gaming Board. The company is aiming to open a temporary casino at that location in 6 to 8 weeks. The Medina Temple is expected to be used while a permanent $2 billion casino was built at the site of the Tribune printing plant. Bally's bought that property last year from Nexstar, the owner of WGN-TV. Chicago is counting on the casino revenue to fill its pension gap. However, the group Stop Predatory Gambling is outraged over the casino plans.
There isn't a more outrageous proposal that's been pushed through any government at any level than what's occurred in Chicago over the last year and a half with this Bally's proposal. The lack of public comment, the lack of investigation.
We want to move as quickly as we can, but we're totally mindful that it's a big deal.
Bally's says there will be 700 jobs at the temporary location and 3,000 for the permanent one. The target opening for the permanent casino is the year 2026.
Well, cooler air is going to linger for a bit, but a warm-up is not far off.
Happy to hear that. Tom Skilling is tracking the timing of it all. His full forecast up next.
Dear Freedom, here's to more miles driven, more dollars saved, and more electrified vehicles than any other brand. Yours, Toyota Hybrids. Toyota, let's go places.
Auto, rideshare, or pedestrian injury? Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal. That's Ankin Law.
How is your experience working with Nextdoor Window?
Well, the project manager made it very easy, and we really enjoyed working with a local company.
The new windows are really energy efficient.
Get 60% off installation. Visit nextwindow.com.
It's news you want 24 hours a day. WGNTV.com.
Dear Freedom, here's to more miles driven, more dollars saved, and more electrified vehicles than any other brand. Yours, Toyota Hybrids. Toyota, let's go places.
It was about second or third grade at Longfellow Elementary School in Oak Park that it was announced that a meteorologist was going to come talk to the school, and I was super excited. So the day comes and we all file into the auditorium, and I was really surprised that the person who was speaking was not Tom Skilling. I guess to my 6 or 7-year-old self, I didn't realize that there were other meteorologists out there, so definitely an impactful moment in my life that realized I could be a meteorologist just like Tom Skilling.
Sponsored by Four Seasons. Paul Conrad has your rush hour forecast weekday mornings on WGN Morning News.
It's news you want 24 hours a day. WGN TV.
Well, hail pounds parts of Arkansas. Some of the hail was reportedly as large as grapefruits and softballs. The severe weather caused significant damage yesterday. The National Weather Service is forecasting more storms in the state tomorrow morning. Wow. My goodness, well, at least we're not dealing with that.
No,
that would be.
It really is true.
I mean, we do want some rain, but we don't want the
the
grapefruit-sized hail.
We can do without that, that's for sure. Well, you know, part of the reason we're not getting the rain is because they are, and they're getting big storms. I'll show them to you later. Okay. But you know, also, we've had these strange skies with all this smoke coming out of Canada. Still 400 fires burning up there. Many of you have sent some dramatic pictures of the sunrises and sunsets, and the sun reduced to a little orange speck in the sky by all the smoke. You can see it here, and here's a forecast of where that smoke is going. And you'll see that the area of dark red, which is the most intense or densest smoke, shrinks a little bit tomorrow, but it's not totally gone. So we'll have some colorful sunsets, because I think it'll be cloudy as the day begins tomorrow. Certainly was cloudy this evening, and there is the sun setting through all that smoke and haze. What a day this has been. We've been on a real thermal roller coaster around the Chicago area. You know, it's interesting, with so much heat in the country, look at the 92 at St. Louis, the 90 at Des Moines. Down in Dallas, Texas, they had a dew point of 80 degrees. That's the highest dew point they've ever recorded down there, which is interesting. And they're in a huge heat wave down in Texas. Yet here we are, kind of shivering tonight. High pressure and low pressure to the east have combined to produce this strong northerly flow that sent that cold front racing down the lake and through Chicago about 11 o'clock this morning. 56 is our temperature. It was 80 this morning at 11 o'clock. The winds are coming full fetch, so the cool air that they drag off the of Lake Superior is preserved over the chilly waters in that long 280-mile trip from the north end of the lake to the south end of the lake and into Chicago, where tonight the winds are blowing at 17. It's 56 degrees out there. We had highs today in the low 80s at Midway. At one point, just as the front was passing, there were upper 80s out in some of the western suburbs. But boy, those temperatures crashed into the 50s and have been there along the lake all day. 80 and 56 are the extremes today. The normals are 81 and 61. So statistically, when they look back on this day, they'll say, boy, it was a pretty normal day, not realizing we've undergone as much as a 20 or 30 degree temperature drop. 80 compared to the normal of 81. It was 72 for a time at Waukegan and Harvard. That's long since gone, and 88 at Kankakee and Peru today. We've had strong gusty winds, and tonight we're in the low 50s from Deerfield to the city and Libertyville. The warmest temperatures are inland, but look at the wind gusts. Where that wind comes barreling down the lake, there's nothing to stop it. It's geostrophic, as we say in the meteorological profession, almost friction-free, nothing to slow it down, except dragging against the water, and that beats dragging over land and buildings, which slow winds down. That's why it's windier along the lakefront than inland, inland. Here are the temperature drops over the last 24 hours. We're down by double digits. It's only in the mid-40s, the dew points are. They were up around 60 earlier, so the air has dried out. But we still have that stratus deck, and probably we'll keep it into the morning hours tomorrow, then break it up and bring the sun out. The winds are gusting over 20 miles an hour even at this hour in parts of the area. And as far as pollen goes, we had high mold spores today, but low pollen of the tree variety and also moderate grass pollen. With a 64-degree water temperature at Ohio Street Beach today. Here are the shoreline water temperatures, still pretty cool. That's why anytime you turn the wind off the lake, it gets chilly. And you know, today we were declared as being in a severe drought area, and that's despite the rain we had earlier in the week. We've only had 4.2 inches of rain since April 1st. We should have had over 10 inches during that time period. So we're down almost half a foot. And it's interesting, the coverage of severe drought across Illinois is the greatest since any time since 2012, 11 years ago. Here's that severe drought area in the dark orange region, and we're not alone. Good part of the Corn Belt and out here in the plains has been dry. These areas out in Nebraska and Kansas are at extreme levels of drought. Well, for us, we see no organized and widespread rain anytime in the near future. It'll be cloudy and cool tonight, breezy too. With those early clouds finally giving way to sun tomorrow, we ought to see a total overcast in the morning, break up and go to about 22% cloud coverage at noon and 5% later in the day. And then we head toward the Father's Day weekend and we'll see the temps rebound some. We'll be up to 81 inland Saturday and 83 Sunday with upper 60s and low 70s along the lakefront. Here you can see the O'Hare temperatures and how we get back into the low 80s, which is kind of normal. High pressure producing the easterly winds, but here's the pattern change that builds a dome of warm air that then gets trapped in place in one of these blocking patterns next week. What that means is no organized, extensive and needed rains, but on the other hand, temperatures that warm up will also keep the lake breezes going, and we've had a lake breeze going almost every day as far back as I can remember. I mean, we go back to April, and every day there's been a wind off the lake. So that's kind of restrained the temperatures and the warming along the shoreline. Cloudy at times tonight. It's smoky aloft. You tend not to see it at night. But it's also cooler and breezy with a north-northeast wind and a low down to 54 tonight. During the day tomorrow, we'll start with an overcast and turn mostly sunny. It'll be breezy and cool for the season, and April level 71 tomorrow, but only 60 on area beaches because the winds will be coming off the water. But the gradient begins to relax, and so do the winds tomorrow night, so it'll be clear, cool. There'll be some smoke aloft, but a low of 55 in the city, 50 inland. And that lighter wind regime means we can start warming the air mass back up again on Saturday, a mostly sunny day with 81 and mid-60s to low 70s at the beaches. Father's Day, partly cloudy, 83 forecast with around 70 at the shoreline. Maybe a brief shower Sunday night or Monday, but not a sure thing. And then it's dry the rest of the 7-day period with temperatures in the 80s and the official start of summer, the summer solstice on Wednesday. And we could be flirting with 90 later in the week next week and bring some humidity in the following weekend. So that air mass, that blocking pattern is going to kind of put an air mass over us that warms up with time. Later next week, we got more summer-like. Yeah.
All right, looking forward to some heat. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom.
You bet, Jewel. See ya. See you, Ray.
See you, Tom.
Still ahead, new details tonight about what City Hall says may have been a mistaken payment involving ShotSpotter, a $10 million mistake. What the Johnson administration is saying about it after 9:45.
And the Cubs get a big bat back in the lineup as they go for the sweep of the first-place Pirates. Jared Payton is next with that in sports.
Dads are special, fun, inspiring, always there for you. So make Father's Day extra special with gifts he'll love from WeatherTech. Floor liners, cargo liner, seat protector, sunshade, ready-to-wash system, and cup phone. Or our newest product, the golf cart mat. Visit our factory store in Bolingbrook or go to WeatherTech.com. Have a very happy Father's Day.
Mental health and learning disorders are the most common illnesses of childhood and adolescence. 1 out of 5 young people struggle with disorders like depression, dyslexia, ADHD, OCD, eating disorders, and anxiety. I was one of them. As a child, I struggled with crippling anxiety, the most common and least recognized childhood mental health disorder. The mental health crisis in America is really a children's mental health crisis. Every year, over 1 million young people visit the ER because of suicidal ideation and suicide attempts. 5,000 die by suicide. When we ignore mental health, we lose our children. We have the tools to stem this crisis if we're willing. The Child Mind Institute is the leader in the field. It's the place where kids are getting better and the place that is doing the research and developing the programs that will change the landscape of children's mental health. To learn more, visit childmind.org.
I remember after my first 2 jobs in television, I took a position on the morning show. And I will never forget my first day on the morning show. They had us in a convertible, and they had me show up, and they had this cast of characters greeting me at the station. And it was that day that I realized that I had made the right career decision, and something I'm thankful for every day.
Sponsored by Chevrolet of Homewood.
Come for the weather.
There's a good chance for showers and thunderstorms early in the day.
Come for the food.
In today's lunch break, we're taking a trip to Tuscany right here in Chicago.
Stay for the local news that keeps your day on track. Chicago's very own Midday News with trusted anchors Dina Bair and Patrick Elwood. Weekdays from 11 to 1 on WGN.
Daytime is fun time. Daytime is real time.
I have a big mouth. I don't want to lie. You just said a mouthful.
Daytime is a good time.
That's the way to get the morning started.
Daytime Chicago with Tanya Francisco and Amy Rutledge. Weekdays at 10 on WGN.
Powered by Tom Skilling and the WGN Weather Center. Download the WGN TV weather app now.
Now, sports from the AT&T Sports Desk.
All right, and we're back, and we're got Jarrett Payton here with sports, and got some news on the Cubs, right?
News on the Cubs. Right? Listen, I've been watching you guys in the back. I've just been enjoying the show. I'm going to give them some good news.
You were preparing for this sports cast. Come on.
I was. We got to talk. We'll talk about the Northsiders first before tonight's Cubs and Pirates series finale. The Northsiders activated Cody Bellinger off the IL and sent Matt Mervis down to Iowa. Northsiders, they had the brooms out tonight trying to sweep the Buccos at the friendly confines. Yeah, that guy right there watching on as the Cubs were down 2-1 in the fifth when Ian Happ gets a hold of this one, doubles out, goes Oppo into left field. Nico Horner comes all the way around from first in to score to tie the ball game up at 2 apiece. Still in the fifth, Belly up at the plate and back in the lineup, doubles into right field. Ian Happ comes in to score, and the Cubs take the 3-2 lead. Same inning, runners on the corners. Nick Madrigal lays down the sacrifice bunt. He's out at first, but Cody Bellinger comes in to score to make it 5-2 Cubs. Cubs still leading right now, 7-2 in the eighth. The White Sox out in La La Land again, taking on the Dodgers, looking for back-to-back wins. Luis Robert Jr., 0-2 count, and gets it started with this one solo shot to center, his 17th of the year. Next batter, Loy Jimenez. He says, let me get into the action. He takes one out to right center field. Back-to-back homers for the first time of the season for the White Sox. Right now, it is 2-0 Sox in the second. Chicago Sky hosting the Fever tonight at Wintrust Arena. Clea Copper, one of 6 players out of the matchup. Marina Mabry, though, picked up the slack. This 3-ball right here, splack out. 3 of her 19 in the third quarter. The Fever, though, would keep this one close with the game tied at 90. 7 seconds left. Kelsey Mitchell with the dagger to put the Fever up 2. They would stay there. Mabry, though, career high 36 points, but it was enough as the Indiana Fever win this one 92-90 the final. And the Bears finish up mandatory mini camp today in Lake Forest. Now they'll have a little break before training camp in late July. Justin Fields probably had his best practice of the offseason today. And Matt Eberflus said that he's been impressed with the growth that he's seen from Fields as a leader. And that's something that QB1's been working on heading into year 3.
I've definitely grown as a leader. I think even with, all the new guys coming in, and, they've made it easy. They bought into, our culture here, and just competing day in and day out, and really just having that championship mindset. Everybody's been great up to this point, and, we just look to take that next step.
I just see leadership. He's always the hardest worker. He's always the first guy out, last to leave. He's always done that. But now I can see that because his confidence is growing, he is taking that to a different level in terms of being a vocal leader and talking to guys and being able to bring guys together.
I got a chance to talk with Justin's father today, and we had a great conversation, you guys. It's going to be airing on Sunday on Father's Day, but just talking about his work ethic and what he's seen from his son as he's grown over his time here in Chicago. Everybody hopefully have an opportunity on Father's Day to look at.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to that.
No
Thanks,
problem.
JP.
Well, next, how a motivational speech reportedly cost the lives of 100 Russian troops fighting in Ukraine.
And later, the woman accused of attacking several people at random on the north side with a baseball bat appeared in court today. We've got new details on the case ahead on the WGN News at 10.
This is Dr. Nandra. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, and other mental illnesses are already struggles for many Chicagoans, but quarantine, uncertainty, and social isolation can make them much worse.
If you are experiencing overwhelming anxiety and depression, a rapidly effective treatment can help. Talk to your doctor about ketamine.
We will make it through this, but now is the time to gain control and take positive steps.
Schedule a free consultation. Call us or visit online at chicagoivsolution.com.
With Empire's low price guarantee, you'll get quality carpet, hardwood, and laminate at a great price. We'll beat any competitive offer guaranteed. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
So many great celebrity stories, but this is number one. In the spring of 2004, Jeff Huber said, we just booked Adam West to be on the show. And my first thought was, this is fantastic. I'll dress up like Batman. I'll surprise Adam West as Batman. And it all seemed like such a great plan until I was dressed as Batman thinking, well, what if he doesn't like this? So I went out and said, good day, citizen. Thank you for portraying me all these years on television. And fortunately, he liked it. I lived to see another day.
Sponsored by United Vein Centers.
At WGN, we like to call ourselves Chicago's very own.
And when it comes to sports,
that means covering
Wrigleyville's very own, the South Loop's very own,
the Lakefront's very own,
the South Side's very own,
the West Side's very own,
Evanston's very own,
Chicago's very own.
Whomever you root for, wherever they play, WGN has Chicago's very own teams covered every night on WGN.
The bad weather is coming, y'all. Get prepared. It could be bad, then okay, and lighten up a little, and then be bad again.
Forecasting the weather is harder than it looks.
Some hail might happen. Who knows?
That's why experience matters.
Oh my goodness. Hi!
Do you want me to take over?
Yes, please.
To avoid the worst of the weather.
This is an area where you tend to get rotation.
That thunderstorm getting to you around 10 minutes from now.
Another round of as we get towards the evening commute.
Trust the experts in the WGN Weather Center.
Shannon Halligan has your evening rush covered weeknights on WGN Evening News at 4.
Hi, I'm Chicago. I have my own kind of politics, my own kind of music, my sports teams, and when I laugh, the whole world grins. I have my own radio station, WGN. We go all day, we go all night. Anytime you want me, just tune in here or give me a call.
WGN Radio is Chicago. Celebrate WGN's 75th anniversary in style. Check out our online store, retro tees and more at WGNTV.com/store. B-Team's Dan Ponce, Lauren Jiggins. Weekdays starting at 4.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
Welcome back. When he was running for office, Brandon Johnson vowed to terminate the city's contract with ShotSpotter, the electronic alert system that detects gunshots.
But the mayor's electronic signature still ended up on a $10 million contract extension. How did that happen? WGN's Julian Cruz has more.
Good evening. You may remember back in March, then Mayor Lori Lightfoot approving an extension to the ShotSpotter contract into early 2024, a contract that Brandon Johnson vowed to terminate.
ShotSpotter has been a failure.
You may remember as a mayoral candidate back in March, Brandon Johnson making his feelings known on ShotSpotter.
Right? And these tools have proven not to work. Can find a whole lot of things we can spend $10 million on.
Lori Lightfoot back in March approving the extension despite intense criticism of the ShotSpotter gunshot detection system launched in Chicago back in 2018, candidate Johnson pointing to studies questioning the technology's effectiveness.
Even the internal investigation that looked at it said as much.
But an apparent signature snafu catching the mayor's office by surprise. This city procurement contract obtained by WGN News bearing the signature of Brandon Johnson dated June 9th. Senior mayoral advisor Jason Lee, quoted by the Sun-Times, explaining what happened, that the mayor's electronic signature was unwittingly attached to the document, a document authorizing the $10 million ShotSpotter contract extension. Late this afternoon, the mayor's office responding to our request for comment, vowing to closely examine procedures used by the city's Department of Procurement Services, or DPS for short, during Mayor Lightfoot's tenure in office. Mayor Johnson did not physically sign the approval, nor was he notified about the intended use of his e-signature. The current administration is now reviewing DPS procedures for such approvals. Executives with the parent company for ShotSpotter responding with a statement refusing to comment on the internal contractual or procurement procedures of their clients, but they point to testimonials from citizens and law enforcement alike praising ShotSpotter as a valuable crime-fighting tool. The mayor's office telling us that Brandon Johnson has been consistent and that he continues to have deep concerns about the efficacy and cost of the ShotSpotter program. In the newsroom, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
Russian bloggers are reporting that up to 100 Russian soldiers were killed while waiting for their commander to give a motivational speech. According to Business Insider, the unit of soldiers came under heavy fire from Ukrainian rocket launchers. They reportedly stood in formation for 2 hours waiting for their commander. It happened in eastern Ukraine as the Russian division was preparing to begin an assault.
Well, some dramatic images tonight from this massive 4-alarm fire in Kansas City, where a wood pallet warehouse went up in flames. 3 firefighters went to the hospital with minor burns and heat exposure after battling the fire at the Pioneer Pallet Warehouse. Another 7 firefighters were treated right there at the scene. In all, it took 160 firefighters more than 5 hours to get this fire under control. At this late hour, still no word on what caused it.
And the downtown NASCAR race is still more than 2 weeks away, but there's another race coming to town this weekend on Lake Michigan. We'll have those details after the break.
And later, new details about a deadly shooting in the far western suburbs. A man and woman dead after an incident in Geneva. Police released new details about it today, and we've got the latest on the WGN News at 10.
For injury law made personal. That's Aiken Law.
Rider Chips. Just taking a break. That window's a bear.
Don't worry. My cousin's got a guy.
Hey, I'm not sure I can help you with the house gas, but I can help you replace this window fast.
Let the experts at Feldco kickstart your summer with 2-for-1 windows and no interest until 2025. Plus, we'll get it done Feldco fast.
2-for-1 windows won't last long. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Do you know Chicago's fast-growing company for basement repair? Family Waterproofing, founded here to serve Chicagoland families. Rely on us to keep your basement dry. We're experienced, responsive, and affordable. And we're right in your neighborhood. Need help fast? Choose our new Express service for foundation cracks, yard drainage, window wells, gutter cleaning, and sump pumps. Schedule your appointment today at familydry.com. Family Waterproofing, working to a drier standard.
So when I was about 20 years old, I went to a psychic just for some fun, and the psychic told me that the number 9 was going to play a predominant role in my life. When I was 10 years old, I came to the Bozo Show for the first time. About 10 years after that, I was invited to be part of a telethon where I got to meet for the first time Bob Bell and Roy Brown, Bozo and Cookie. And then about 10 years after that, I was hired here at WGN as a booth announcer, where I did the announcements on the Cubs games and Bulls games and Victory Auto Wreckers. That old car might be worth money. One of the very first things that I ever did here on WGN. And then about 10 years after that, on the WGN Morning News. Psychic, wherever you are, man, did you ever hit it on the head.
WGN at 75 Stories, sponsored by Broadway in Chicago. Summer's here. Watch all next week on Daytime Chicago for gadgets, gear, adventures, and more from the Great Escape, Navy Pier, Volo Museum, and Raging Waves. The Daytime Chicago kickoff to summer, all next week at 10 on WGN. Sarah Jindra keeps your commute moving. Weekday mornings on WGN Morning News.
Business leaders and individuals who support Chicagoland Habitat for Humanity were recognized for their contributions this evening. The annual Habitat Hero Award dinner took place at the Four Seasons Hotel at Michigan and Delaware Place. The organization's vision, a world where everyone has a decent place to live. It reports 1 in 7 households in Illinois spends half or more of their income on housing. And WGN's very own Micah Matera emceed the event.
Everyone should have a stable and affordable place to call home. Everyone here tonight, you're going home, right? To a nice, wonderful place, probably air-conditioned or warm, depending upon what the weather is. But you have a home to go to. And I think you're here tonight because you feel the same way. You want everyone to have a home to go to, don't you?
There are 8 Habitat for Humanity affiliates in the Chicago area.
And Chicago will host another big race besides the NASCAR Cup Series on the streets of downtown. The Rolex United States Sail Grand Prix will take place on Lake Michigan just off Navy Pier tomorrow and Saturday. The Global Championship will feature national teams competing in special catamarans. These boats can cruise at speeds of up to 60 miles an hour.
I think it'll blow people's minds. You know, anyone that has a preconceived idea about sailing, this is different than anything you've seen. You know, it is literally much more like a NASCAR on the water, and yeah, I think they'll be pretty impressed.
And for more information on the Sail GP and tickets, check out the link on our website, WGNTV.com.
A drug syndicate accused of trying to smuggle methamphetamine by hiding it in shipments of maple syrup and canola oil.
The group attempted to move the meth from Canada to Australia and New Zealand. Australian police said they intercepted 4 separate hauls that weighed more than 12,000 pounds. They said Canadian authorities alerted them nearly 800 gallons of liquid meth were hidden in 180 bottles of canola oil. Police in New Zealand say the syndicate tried to hide more than 1,500 pounds of meth in a shipment of maple syrup. The scheme was worth billions of dollars. Several people are facing charges.
Well, we are taking a look at our top stories for you next, including what doctors are saying about the potential for a new COVID booster this fall.
Also ahead, the judge in Donald Trump's federal indictment issued her first order today, which she sang about the attorneys in the case. All of that new coming up next.
And another cool day ahead, but a warm-up is coming this Father's Day weekend. Tom is back tracking it all. We'll have the details, along with chances for rain in his full forecast at 10:15.
So when I was about 20 years old, a psychic told me that the number 9 was going to play a predominant role in my life. From the time I came here to WGN in the 4th grade to see the Bozo Show, to meeting Bozo and Cookie up close and personal for the first time at a local telethon, to being hired here many years later as an off-camera announcer. That old car might be worth money. And now on the WGN Morning News.
Sponsored by Broadway in Chicago.
The storm is coming at us pretty hard. It's somehow both narrow and thick at the same time. You want to keep your eyes peeled. Maybe keep a poncho when there's a flood warning.
Forecasting the weather is harder than it looks.
You want to get to high ground. You want to get on a roof. You want to get in a tree.
Experience matters.
All right, Patrick. Good effort, but I'm going to take it from here.
By all means.
To avoid the worst of the weather.
This is where we know that the strongest of the storms will be.
We've got 2 chances for thunderstorms.
There are rotations showing up in these cells.
Trust the experts in the WGN Weather Center. 75 years with Chicago's very own.
Holy cow!
familiar faces.
Watch the Bulls on WGN.
Iconic voices you've heard your whole life.
We're on the air. Oh, hi.
Broadcast history and behind-the-scenes stories from inside Chicago's very own Channel 9.
Join us for a look back
at 75 years of memories.
WGN at 75, the anniversary special. Stream anytime.